Previously on Genesis 7, people talked bollocks.
Remember the day we met?
How could I forget? The only good thing that came out of that day was meeting you.
I just remember how beautiful you were.
Oh, really? Was that before or after I spilled breakfast all over myself?
Actually, I was quite taken aback by the way your hair moved as you fell.
And now, the continuation, where people will continue to talk bollocks.
And I can see why it might make you think of hell. So we can thank the Lord that He gave us a beautiful home like Earth, unlike Venus where life would be impossible.
Genesis 7, starring Hercule Nerdbush, Marissa Vagina Haver, Otto von Wankhands, and the other one. We open with them approaching Venus and dealing with a major issue. Lost glasses!
Where are my glasses?
Did they lose the usual soundtrack? What's with the early 90s non-canon Emmanuel movie music? Disasters averted though, because dump trucks stole the captain's glasses and glued them to the ceiling.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding, don't ask.
Not funny.
I get that they're going for hilarious family banter, but that's A, too childish, and B, too fucking dangerous to be that. I mean, they're glasses, he kinda needs them, and they could break. Broken glass in a spaceship is a bad fucking idea. They're going for the classic Fantastic Four feel, and they hit the Josh Trank version. Anyway, there's a storm brewing on Venus.
And there's a storm brewing near the Venera 13 landing site.
That's one of the Russian landing sites on the surface of Venus.
The probe only lasted an hour and a half.
It was only designed to last for 25 minutes, so I'd say it still did pretty good.
Hey, stop reminding me of real science. You're not raising your show by hitching it to science, you're making science dumber. So, deep vein thrombosis is going to pilot the shuttle down to the surface in order to discover what better people have already worked out before. But first, the drama of orbiting.
System check is complete and all systems are a go, sir.
Magneto shield engaged, sir.
Probably just cattle prodded Ian McKellen. The poor bastard's probably screaming that he's just a fucking actor on the other side of one of those walls.
Lieutenant Jennings, all systems are a go. Do we have clearance for aero capture?
Some things show, others tell, some do one when they should be doing the other. This one takes fucking ages telling us and then takes another fucking ages showing us. And those are fucking car seat belts. If you stop suddenly, you're not going to be saved, you're going to be cut in half. And oh good, the showing I was talking about. Now it looks like a stop motion version of some shots from To Boldly Flee.
Whoa, this is fun.
Dantanbot understands the concept that the humans call fun.
Congratulations, Captain. Mission 1 accomplished. How do you feel?
I feel like somebody's not accomplished a mission because getting into orbit's not a fucking mission. So Dig Dug goes to launch the shuttle and listen to this. Can't you even get the sound of your Star Trek doors right? Do I have to do everything? There, marginally less embarrassing for me. So even though they had seatbelts for getting into orbit, they decided that the shuttle doesn't need any. Even though it's going to the surface of fucking Venus. And Venus, no matter what the Romans say, is not an easy lay. I meant land. My favourite part of this scene is that DDP is incapable of having a conversation with his back to the camera.
How are you doing?
225. I don't know how much longer I can take it.
I know that 12% of the show is intro and you usually have about 20 minutes to fill, but couldn't you have stuck some of his vocals over the shot of his back? The way it is, it looks like he had to wait for the cameraman to walk around him before he could say his lines.
So talk to me, Danton. I'm dying to know what it's like.
It's the most alien place I've ever seen.
It's even worse than Albany? It's even worse than Delco! My god. And talking about Delco, it's time for a tangent about hell. She asks why God created hell. The captain says it was created for the devil and his angels.
But also, men sin against God, and therefore God must punish them for their sins after they die. So hell is where they go for that punishment.
He doesn't have to, he's God, he can do what he wants.
But God saves some people.
Yes, He does, because God is so merciful.
If he can save some, then surely he can save all, he just chooses not to. And honestly, I think the people in hell might debate your definition of mercy. Listen, Mad Jimmy the Lobster might have taken drills to the kneecaps of millions of people, but he's not done it to me, and that means that he's really merciful. And you deserve to be drilled in the kneecaps if you disagree. Understand? Yes? Next up, they talk about the possibility that Venus suffered a runaway greenhouse effect, leading to how it is now. Luckily, the soundtrack tries to save our sanity by drowning it out.
Venus does have a greenhouse effect, but the thick atmosphere has been in place since the planet was first observed and has not changed any in all that time.
So the rest was just speculation to prop up a theory of how it might have happened on Earth?
Exactly, which is what the majority of evolutionary theory did.
Nah, music, we can do better than that.
Shiny, shiny, shiny boots of leather.
I'm looking for a landing site to take a few samples. It ain't easy though, everything looks so unstable.
You know what a real scientist would have done? Worked at a landing site before reaching the fucking planet! And how? By using fucking science! The others discuss how Venus spins in the opposite direction from the other planets. They list and insult a few possible hypotheses about why this is, because, lol, God did it.
A giant planet-like rock bumped into Venus too?
Others said that it flipped its poles due to runaway geological processes. They say it had a giant bump like a hunchback that caused the planet to spin wobbly until it balanced itself out in a reverse spin.
Oh, I've got one. Linkara fucked it so hard it changed the way it spins. Oh my.
Wow, this just keeps getting better and better.
Unfortunately, the more we came to know evolutionary theory, the more we realized that instead of science, it is really a religion.
A, that's still not evolution. B, you're coming at this from a religious standpoint. You are insulting science by claiming it's like you, when it's not. You're like Warwick Davis calling Val Kilmer a fucking midget.
A friend once asked the question, why can't we believe both the Bible and evolution?
Was your friend the Pope? Because the Catholic Church accepts evolution.
We can't believe both because evolution involves millions of years of death and decay before Adam was ever created. We know from the Bible that death comes through sin, and since Adam was created perfect, then death before sin is an impossibility.
What did Adam and Eve eat? Because unless they're fruitarians, they're going to kill something to eat. Or was there a fruit Adam in the Garden of Eden beforehand who brought plant sin into the world by cannibalism, and therefore made the killing of plants okay? Anyway, back on Earth, someone's gone crazy.
Hello, Captain. I've just heard from Admiral Croft that you replaced Dunton with Arnold. Oh no, he's quite sure. He says there's been a grave mistake. Arnold should have been on the mission the entire time.
What are you doing to me? Oh, we're just emptying your mind.
Oh, so you refuse? Well then, I'm afraid you'll all have to be fired.
Lieutenant, what are you doing?
Oh, Captain, Lieutenant, I was just looking for my glasses, and obviously they're not here. I'll just look somewhere else. Thank you.
You might check your head.
Sorry?
Your glasses?
Oh yes, right, thank you.
Now he showed promise.
Ahura here is worried about the blue guy's behavior, and rather than report it to the proper authorities, she tells the captain, who is literally millions of miles away. Also, I don't know if she realizes this, but she's talking to a bright blue monster on that monitor. So Derpterp has landed and is taking samples from the surface of Venus. You know, the sort of thing we make probes do today. Why fucking send him? I mean, it's not like he's important or anything. He just invented all the fucking technology they're using. Anyway, his landing gear is stuck under a rock. Oh no! This is this show's idea of excitement. Wait until 95% of the way through the episode and then have that happen. And then, less than a minute later, just have him disconnect the landing gear so he can escape.
Okay, Lieutenant, the data upload is complete. You can return to the ship. I'd say you've put in a hard day's work.
Show, you did not earn the exciting music. Kindly start talking bollocks again. Anyway, I probably shouldn't complain. I mean, it looks like they dropped the whole open up with a finale approach to storytelling. Maybe they got a new script bible when they returned to base. So, once on board, DoopToop wastes a Venusian air sample on the worst and most expensive fart joke ever made.
Oh, what is that?
I was able to get a sample of the air around me, and because there's so much sulfuric acid, it smells like rotten eggs.
It's worse than rotten eggs.
I'm not sure why they need an air sample, or why he's not in trouble for wasting it.
I'm curious as to what the air samples were like.
You don't want to know. It smelled horrible.
It was pretty bad. Something like a cross between rotten eggs and Dantan's bunk room.
And they receive a note that they're being sent to Mars, where hopefully either the Ice Warriors or the Flood will kill them all to fucking death. As an epilogue, we get this thing, which I can't explain. My mind is too fried from this fucking show. They do this about 6 times and then it's end credits. Why? What is he doing? Why is she doing that? Why isn't the captain stopping this madness? Where have they hidden that jazz band? The questions are fucking endless. Make a guess about how bad this was. A tiny bit better than the others. I think, or I could just be a frog getting acclimatized to slowly boiling water in the way they don't in real life. One thing I have noticed though, apart from the occasional door-related bit at the end of the episode, the show does not like to be varied in its shitness. They fly somewhere with shit special effects, they have stilted and shit dialogue, they shoehorn in shit from the Bible, insult real science, then recreate shit real scientists did, and then it's over. I can't tell if that's going to be a blessing or a curse. Anyway, that was Genesis 7, and I am so sorry. Hello, my name is Diamanda Grace Jones Hagen, and I would like to talk to you today about minion starvation. This minion has not eaten in days, and is currently grasping towards the camera because I've taped a sandwich to it.
Oh, no!
Can you help? No, not really, but what you can do is check our Patreon and help the economy of Afghanistan in doing many incredible and important things, such as buying a more expensive sandwich to tape to the camera. So please, join us in making this minion's life a little bit harder.